Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve has been suspended. Cheryl Reeve crash out, and then she obliterated Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA. Oh, it calls for some accountability, and it gets you suspended. They think Collier has a fractured ankle, where it looked like Alyssa Thomas fouled the living hell out of Collier.
The WNBA just suspended Cheryl Reeve for a playoff game. But here's the question. Is this really about one coach losing her cool, or is it exposing something way bigger? Fans are furious. Polls are ripping into the finals setup, and it feels like the league is on shaky ground. If one suspension can shake confidence this much, what does that say about the WNBA right now?
In true WNBA fashion, the clown show that they are, and I wonder, Kathy, did you literally paint your face for this? This league is something else, folks. Did you put on some bozo shoes? Did you get you some red hair?
Let's break down why this moment matters more than just missing Game 4. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
I've been covering and talking about sports for 6 years. I've never seen anything like this. And damn you, WNBA, for making me have to actually defend Cheryl Reeve of all people. But here we are, that was this dumb, this illiterate.
Imagine this. It's a playoff game. The season is on the line, and your head coach isn't even allowed to sit on the bench. No hand signals, no huddles, no pacing the sideline during crunch time. Just silence where the leader of the team should be. For Minnesota, that's exactly what this suspension of Cheryl Reeve means. And the whole mess didn't just happen out of nowhere. It started with one furious moment on the court that escalated way past anything the league could ignore. Reeve didn't simply argue a call and walk away. She went to war with the referees. She stormed down the sideline, got in their faces, and kept jawing long after the technical had been called.
And Kathy probably thinks this is all good. I guarantee you, she believes all of this drama is good for the league. Her conduct and comments included aggressively pursuing and verbally abusing a game official on the court. Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve has been suspended for 1 game.
When she finally left the floor, she didn't take the quick walk out that most coaches do. Instead, she lingered, glaring down officials and even exchanging words with fans in the lower seats. It was slow, it was heated, and it was ugly. The league looked at that and said, enough is enough. That's a suspension.
One could say what Collier went through at times with Thomas was abuse, but uh-oh, did I say that out loud? For her conduct and comments during and following the Lynx' 84-76 loss to the Mercury.
But here's where it gets wild. The suspension itself wasn't the most explosive part of the night. After the game ended, Reeve didn't cool off. She doubled down with comments that hit like dynamite. She went at the league itself, saying things that fans grabbed and repeated online instantly. Suddenly, it wasn't about one coach being tossed from one game. It was the head coach of a contending team claiming the whole system didn't even deserve respect. Picture that fourth quarter. Minnesota's defense crumbled, players looked rattled, and Reeve just couldn't hold it in. She was screaming from the sideline, waving her arms, and finally going after the officials like it was personal. The whole stadium sensed the shift. You had Lynx fans booing, Mercury fans clapping back, and referees trying to push the game along while everyone in the arena's attention was glued to the drama. By the time security escorted her away, the energy inside that building was toxic.
Of just how much people don't want to watch the Las Vegas Aces and the Phoenix Mercury play. Could you have more unlikable athletes in one series?
And it wasn't just emotions. The call that triggered it all looked bad from the jump. Later, NBA-level officials reviewing the play said it wasn't even an actual foul. That's a massive gut punch when everyone watching knew the whistle had flipped momentum. It wasn't just frustration. It was one of those calls that puts a big neon light on the WNBA's officiating problems. Fans already complain about inconsistency, and right here you had one of the league's best coaches paying the price for a mistake that might not have even been a foul in the first place. Now take that shaky moment and roll it into the conversation online. Social media lit up. A single whistle spiraled into full-blown chaos, with people tweeting out polls asking if anyone even wanted to watch the finals anymore. And the results were brutal.
I'm going to show you guys a poll in a minute that a fan put out on Twitter, and you would think this would be the kind of thing that would scare the hell out of the league. I don't know what they care about, frankly. It tells you exactly how much sports fans do not want to see a Mercury versus Aces finals.
One poll stacked up close to 500 votes, and the overwhelming chunk of fans said they were out. Not just because of bad officiating, but because the matchup itself, Mercury against the Aces, had no pull for them. They said they didn't like the players, they weren't invested, and they'd already switched off emotionally. That right there is the scariest part for the WNBA. The league is in desperate need of people tuning in, and now they're losing them at the worst possible time. The finals. You don't have Caitlin Clark, who has been the biggest story in women's basketball this year. You don't have Nafisa Collier carrying Minnesota on a deep run. You don't have Sophie Cunningham drawing attention with her scrappy play and fearless energy.
And now the WNBA is facing a playoff, and no Sophie Cunningham, somebody else that obviously draws some eyes to the television screen. She's out. No Nafisi Collier. That looks like that's a wrap, which means the Lynx are probably a wrap in the playoffs with no Caitlin Clark, far and away their biggest superstar.
The stars casual fans recognize or care about are gone, and instead they're left with two teams that, fair or not, people don't feel hyped to watch. So when you look at Cheryl Reeve missing Game 4, it's not just about one coach not being there to bark instructions. It's about how every piece of drama makes the league look shakier, not stronger. They're trying to build credibility, but suspensions and controversial whistles are doing the exact opposite. Fans are supposed to be rallying around the biggest stage of the season. Instead, a chunk of them are checking out, frustrated, or flat out mocking the product. And that sends a message that's loud and clear. So if suspending one coach rattles the entire sport, what does that say about the WNBA's bigger problem with keeping fans invested and actually trusting what they're watching? Cheryl Reeve getting suspended looks huge, but it's really just a small piece of a much bigger issue.
Will you watch the WNBA Finals if it's the Aces and Mercury? Asia Wilson, Alyssa Thomas, and DeWanna Bonner. I mean, really?
Fans already feel burned out by calls they don't trust, finals matchups they don't care about, and star players not even on the floor. That combination makes one suspension feel like a breaking point. If the WNBA wants fans locked into the finals, it can't just be about fixing calls. It has to build storylines that actually matter to people. Because right now, losing one coach for one game feels like losing something bigger, the league's connection to its own audience.